Just because you're not physically located in the same place as your colleagues, that doesn't mean you can't collaborate, because we've got a wealth of technology at our disposal these days, and that's certainly something that's improved hugely over the years that I've been working from home. I mean, I can remember when I was first freelance, a client had to have the digital file of a logo biked over to me on CD. And I know that makes me feel really old, but the point is that happily things have really moved on since then. And in this video, I'd like to run through how some of these tools can help us to collaborate remotely. And firstly, when you work from home, you need to communicate with your co-workers a lot. Keep the conversation going. This is especially true, I think, if you are the only remote member in the team. You know, you're just not going to have those kinds of conversations where people drop by your desk. When you're the only one stuck at home, you're kind of off the radar. Now, I know you can pick up the phone, but you're also going to have to use whatever tools your organisation has, probably something like these tools here, to keep the conversation going. And if your whole team is remote, like mine, then these tools truly are a godsend. So we use Slack, for example, and you can see that we've got a trainers channel, and it's a really busy place full of work chat and fun chat. And I would suggest that as a remote worker that you're more proactive with these tools than perhaps you would first think. You know, keep a close eye on these conversations. It's not a distraction, it's an important part of team working. And use the little emojis and GIFs to express emotion. You know, it's the little things like that which adds a human element. And when people ask questions, always respond. Even if you don't have the answer, because as remote workers, there's nothing worse than asking a question and nobody responding. I mean, imagine if you were based in a physical office and you said to your colleagues in earshot, "Oh, I don't seem to be able to upload a video this morning. Any ideas?" They wouldn't just ignore you. Even if they didn't know the answer, they would say things like, "Oh, that's a bit odd because it's okay for me," or, "Oh, you might want to ask Jeff if there's a problem." So do the same in these tools too. So important. But anyway, that was Slack, and of course there are loads of other tools which do the same thing. This is Microsoft Teams, for example, and yeah, you can see it provides the same sort of chat experience with threading for replies and little emojis and GIFs and whatnot as well. Great stuff. But next up is video calling, with emphasis on the word video. So please, please, please turn on your video. Yes, peel the sticker off your camera right now, because this is such an important part of maintaining relationships when you're remote. And again, there are a variety of different tools that you might be using here. These are two that I use regularly. But let me just give you a quick sneak peek of the CBT Nuggets trainers team meeting from yesterday. And I think you'll see why I'm saying that you should turn on your camera. So this is Danielle, our manager, and you can see that there are quite a few of us on the call down the right-hand side here. But I'm just going to let this play without the sound. So it looks like Danielle is laughing, and look, here's Keith goofing around, and there's Ben with some witty observation or other, I'm sure. And of course the main screen is changing to whoever is speaking, so it looks like Jeremy must have laughed or something because we saw him briefly there. But look, back to Danielle. It looks like we're onto something a bit more serious now, but notice how we can see her body language here. All of that expression would have been lost without video. Oh, look, here's Bart in his yurt with his hat on, and all of these visuals feed the need that we have for human interaction. So turn on your video and encourage your teammates to do the same. But sometimes people feel a bit self-conscious of what might be showing in the background when they're on a video call from home. So let me just show you a really cool feature in Microsoft Teams. So here I am. Hello, I'm just on a conference call. I'm waiting for my colleagues to arrive, and you'll notice I've got an option here to blur my background. So if I choose that, can you see that it cleverly keeps me in crystal clear focus, but it has blurred everything behind me? Brilliant feature. You can also collaborate on documents as remote workers really well these days. So for example, look at this Google Sheet here, and I would use the big green button up at the top right to set the sharing permissions. And now you can see that 3 other colleagues are working on this file at the same time as me, and Liz has even responded to one of my comments. It works really well, and the concepts are just the same if you're an Office 365 user. So I'm now in Microsoft Word, and I would set the sharing permissions using the share button at the top right here, and then as we saw with the Google file, other people can come and open up this document, and you can see I've got a couple of other co-workers in this file with me right now, and the coloured markers just here and here indicating where they are clicked, so I can see that Henrietta is clicked right at the beginning of the document. And I will see their changes and whatnot appearing real time in this document. I love it. But finally in this video, if you're used to brainstorming with colleagues in person over a whiteboard, sketching up ideas and then somebody else grabs the pen and sketches up other ideas, then consider using Microsoft Whiteboard for that same sort of experience when you're working remotely. It's an app that's just part of Windows 10. So you can see I'm in it now and I've got a couple of different whiteboards, but if I just choose this one, you can see all sorts of scribbling and whatnot. But look, top right hand corner, this is where I can make sure that web sharing is switched on, and I can send my colleagues a link so they can collaborate real time on this whiteboard with me. So wow, loads of tools available to us to help us collaborate remotely. Keep that conversation going.